Abron, I need to see you a boss.
Okay. The manager's actually not here today.
Not the manager, the boss.
I'm sure I could help you with whatever you need.
I need to see you a boss. I wait.
What's up guys? Welcome back to Toon, Duelists. You guys voted, you wanted to see an agent deck profile, and today you get your agent's deck profile. I'm super excited to show this one to you guys because the agents have just, first of all, an amazing concept. Of course, all their monsters are named after a different planet in our solar system, with Hyperion symbolizing the sun, where all the other monsters and planets center around. So just, yeah, peak fairy type design in my opinion. Then of course it's also a super old archetype. The first cards actually released in Dark Revelation Volume 2, which was back in 2005, which makes this archetype 20 years old this year. Just amazing. And of course I also have kind of a personal backstory with this, because back in the day when we were like 11 or 12 or something like that, we would used to play at our friend's house, and sometimes his older brother would join us, and he had this all foil deck with all the old cards of Metal Raider, Spell Ruler, all those old cards. And since it was kind of fairy based at least, he had Saturn as one of his boss monsters, and we were just freaking out every time it hit the field. So yeah, just some amazing good old memories. And yeah, that's also the reason I just love to play this deck. And before we start, definitely consider liking and subscribing. This would really help us a lot. I know that 95% of you are watching but not subscribing. It's totally free and it helps us a lot. So please consider leaving a like and a subscription. And guys, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Alright guys, as always, we start things off with the monsters, and the first one we're talking about is the Agent of Mystery, Earth. Amazing card right here, and a definite 3-off, because this card has the effect that when it is normal summoned, you can add an agent monster from your deck to your hand, except itself, and while the Sanctuary in Disguise face up on the field, you can add a Master Hyperion from your deck to your hand instead. Now just a great searcher, sadly only on normal summon. This would be great on special summon too, but yeah, definitely your most important combo starter right here, so definite 3-off. Next up, we also run 3 copies of the Agent of Life, Neptune. Also just an amazing card and very important combo piece, because it has the effect that you can discard this card to special summon an agent monster from your hand or graveyard, except itself, or if the Sanctuary in Disguise on the field or in either graveyard, you can special summon a Hyperion monster instead. Also, neither player can tribute a monster summoned with this effect until the end of your opponent's turn. And if this card is banished, you can add a Sanctuary in Disguise from your deck to your hand. So basically Extender and Searcher, just an amazing card right here and a definite 3-off, just like the next one, which is of course the Agent of Creation, Venus. Also just an amazing card right here, with the simple effect that you can pay 500 life points to special summon a mystical shine ball from your deck or hand, which is just really important for extending. So yeah, just super important. Basically, if you have Earth and Neptune or Earth and Venus in your hand, it's full combo right here. And we also have a Searcher, we talk about that when we come to the spells. So this is full combo, so that's also why we of course play 3 of each. And of course we also play 3 copies of Mystical Shine Ball. Now obviously they're a brick in hand, but of course you want to make most use of your Venus as possible, so you have to play 3. This is just really basic right here. The last agent we run is also 1 copy of the Agent of Destruction, Venus. Now this evil version of Venus, I guess, has the effect that you can banish an Agent of Creation Venus from your graveyard to special summon it from your hand, and you can pay life points in multiples of 500, and for every 500 life points paid, you can target one of your mystical shine balls that is banished or in your graveyard and special summon them, but you place them on the bottom of the deck when they leave the field. Now this is just great because you can of course use all your shine balls over again, even if you already brought them out with your Venus right here. Use them for link climbing or synchro or whatever, and it is actually one of those cards that let you play around Nip. I just had this in a recent duel where I waited until I had all the shine balls. My opponent used to nip me, but I already searched Destruction and could still play that way. So yeah, Definitely a great card, but one is enough because we either want to send it with one of our synchro boss monsters or search it out. Then of course we also run the Hyperion cards. We run one Master Hyperion right here. Amazing artwork on this one, and it has the effect that you can special summon it from your hand by banishing an agent monster from your hand, field or graveyard, and once per turn you can banish a light fairy type monster from a graveyard to target a card on the field and destroy that target, and while the Sanctuary on the Sky is on the field, you can activate this effect up to twice per turn. So yeah, great extender. Mostly use it, of course, for your synchro plays, but also, of course, great destruction effect right here, but one is definitely enough. You can search it out very easy, just like the next one, which is its dark counterpart. I'm talking about Majesty Hyperion right here. Of course, we also run one copy of this guy because it has a similar effect. You can special summon it from your hand or graveyard by banishing an agent monster from your hand, field or graveyard. Also, any battle damage you take from battles involving your fairy monsters is also inflicted to your opponent, and once per turn you can banish a fairy monster from your hand or graveyard to target a card in either graveyard and banish it, and if the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in either graveyard, you can use this effect up to twice per turn. So this destroys on field, this banishes from the graveyard. You see the parallels right here. Amazing card, same goes for Majesty as it goes for Master. Great for our synchro plays, but of course also great disruption right here. Next up, let's talk about some generic fairy monsters we run in this deck, and of course we run 3 copies of Diviner of the Herald. Just an amazing card in this deck. And it has the effect that if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send a fairy monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, and if you do, increase this card's level by that monster's level until the end of this turn. And if this card is tributed, you can special summon one level 2 or lower fairy monster from your hand or deck. And this is super amazing in this build because not only it is a tuner, so we have a synchro based deck right here. So those level modulations is just super great on a tuner. First of all. Then of course, foolishing a fairy monster is just always amazing, especially in this deck, because you can search some hand traps that way. And even if it is tributed with one of the cards I'm going to mention in a minute, you have still some effects to pull off, just special summoning one of your level 2 monsters. Amazing card right here and a definite 3-off. And one of the cards we want to send with our Diviner is of course one copy of Eva. Even though we could play more with the new ban list, one is definitely enough because we just want to send it from the deck, because this card has the effect that if it is sent to the graveyard, you can banish up to 2 other light fairy monsters from your field or graveyard, and add the same number of level 2 or lower light fairy monsters with different names from your deck to your hand except itself. This is just crazy good because it lets us search our fairy type only hand trap and of course one of our combo pieces. So yeah, great card right here, but one is definitely enough. And the same goes for our next card, which is one copy of Bhutan. Also great card right here, level 1 tuner with the effect that during your main phase you can banish this card from the graveyard to target a level 4 or lower light fairy monster, which is face up in your monster zone, and it is treated as a tuner while face up on the field. So also just great for your synchro plays, of course. Then we of course also play a copy of Trias Hierarchia. Also an amazing card in this deck, because this level 9 monster has the effect that during the main phase, if this card is in your hand or in your graveyard, quick effect, you can tribute up to 3 fairy monsters and special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Then you can apply the following effects in sequence depending on the number of tributed monsters. If it was 2 or more, you destroy a card your opponent controls, and if it was 3, you even draw 2 cards. So this is just super powerful. You can either bring it out in your own turn for synchro climbing or link plays or something like that, but it's of course a great interruption during your opponent's turn. You can also, since it's a quick effect, bounce imperms or something like that, so the effects of your fairy monsters still go off. Amazing card, just you have to play this in this deck, but of course one is definitely enough. And the next fairy monster we run in this deck is of course one copy of Archlord Christia. Just an amazing card right here with the effect that if you have exactly 4 fairy monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon it from your hand, and if it's summoned this way, you can target a fairy monster in your graveyard to add it back to your hand, and it has the effect that neither player can special summon monsters. And if this face-up card would be sent from the field to the graveyard, you place it on top of the deck instead. Now this is just crazy, completely locking out your special summoning, of course yourself too, but very important, you lock your opponent. So if you bring this at the end of your combo on the field, it's basically game over. And having exactly 4 fairy monsters is not a real big task in this deck because you have so many ways of controlling the amount of fairy monsters in your graveyard by banishing them or shuffling them back or something like that. So Christia is just great in this deck, but you can search it and 1 is definitely enough right here. And of course, I already mentioned this card. We run 3 copies of Herald of Orange Light. A fairy type only hand trap, just amazing, with the effect that when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can send this card and another fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And this is actually pretty amazing because it doesn't matter where the effect is activated and it even destroys the monster. You can search this card, and with the amount of fairy monsters we run, we can always discard another one. So yeah, just an amazing card right here and a definite 3-up. Then last up, we talk about some combo pieces we run in this deck. We run 1 Ringo Worm, the dragon guarding the 100 apples right here. Now, this might come as a surprise, but when I come to the extra deck, I can explain more. This card has the effect that if a face-up non-effect monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, during your main phase, if you synchro summon this turn, you can banish this card from a graveyard to special summon a 100 apples token, level 2, and the player who summoned it can treat it as a tuner for a synchro summon. Now, this is just great, because if you have it in your hand and you get to your shine balls, you can just definitely special summon it. You have a level 2 tuner, which is amazing in this deck. And you have ways to get it into the graveyard to special summon the token, which can also be treated as a tuner. So in either way, this one is always a free tuner, which is just amazing. And another card we run in this deck is 1 copy of Nemesis Corridor. I guess all of you know what that means. Yes, we have Thunder Dragon Colossus in this deck, because of course this card has the effect that you can target one of your banished monsters except itself and special summon this card from the hand, and if you do, shuffle that target into the deck. The rest doesn't really bother us, it's just free special summoning and going into Colossus, and we banish a lot in this deck. You've seen the monster effects, so no problem bringing this guy out, and we can even search it, but more on that when we get to the extra deck. And of course we round things up with some hand traps. I run 3 copies of Duel and Lockbird right here, of course. In the current game, Duel is just crazy good. And I also run 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Now, if I would have it, I would also, of course, definitely run Fuvalos, just a better choice right here. But the card is still too pricey, so I go with Ash. You can basically play every hand trap you want for those 2. You can decide. Now, if you want to support the channel, you can, of course, spend $50 to send me 3 Fuvalos, or you can also just subscribe to this channel. This would also help us a lot. The choice is yours. And guys, that's it for the monsters. For the spells, we start things off with 3 copies of the Sacred Waters in the Sky. Just an amazing card right here, because it has the effect that you can activate a Sanctuary in the Sky directly from your deck or add a monster that mentions the Sanctuary in the Sky from your deck to your hand. Then, if the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in either graveyard, you can gain 500 life points for each Hyperion and the agent monster you control. And also, if your monster that mentions Sanctuary in the Sky would be destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from a graveyard instead. Now, obviously, the important part is searching your combo piece, either your Earth or your Neptune, to go full combo. So yeah, just an amazing one right here. Of course, the protection effect is neat, but not the reason it's in here. We just need the search. Then, of course, we also run 1 Sanctuary in the Sky. Just one of my favorite cards design-wise. I love this old design. Peak, in my opinion. And this field spell has the simple effect that battle damage to the controller of a fairy monster from a battle involving that monster becomes 0. Now, this is not that important, but as you might have figured out, we need Sanctuary in the Sky for some of our effects to be more powerful. So yeah, just running 1 makes just a whole lot of sense. And we round things up with 1 Foolish Burial right here. We have various targets, we have Eva, we have Majesty Hyperion. Just an amazing card right here with multiple uses. And for the traps, we run 1 copy of the Fallen Sanctuary. Also amazing design, and this permanent trap has the effect that when this card is activated, you set a Sanctuary in the Sky or 1 spell or trap that mentions it directly from your deck So basically you can search a Sacred Water in the Sky, which is just amazing for follow-up. This card's name also becomes the Sanctuary in the Sky while on the field or in the graveyard, and you can banish a fairy monster from your graveyard to target an effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. So yeah, just an amazing card right here, a monster negate. It is treated as Sanctuary in the Sky, which is also helpful. It searches your Sacred Waters, so yeah. Amazing card, but we can search it out, so 1 is definitely enough. And the final trap gives you a little hint of what we run in the extra deck, because it is Vanadium Reframing. This counter trap is also just amazing, with the effect that when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a synchro monster, you negate the activation. And if you have Visa Starfrost or a monster with 1500 attack and 2100 defense on your field or in your graveyard, you can destroy the negated card. Now, the rest doesn't bother us, it's just an Omni Negate with a Synchro Monster on the field. It's a counter trap, so it's unchainable. Amazing one right here, and we can search it out, so just peek right here. And guys, that's already it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we start things off with a card, you already guessed it, Thunder Dragon Colossus. Of course, we can easily cheat it out with our Nemesis Corridor, and this card has the effect that it can be fusion or special summoned during the turn a Thunder monster's effect was activated in the hand by tributing 1 Thunder effect non-fusion monster, which is our Corridor. And it has the effect that cards can't be added from the main deck to your opponent's hand except by drawing them, and if this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish a Thunder monster from a graveyard instead. So yeah, it's just amazing, it's just a huge floodgate for your opponent. Then of course you can also protect it with your Nemesis and some more cards I'm about to show you. Yeah, amazing card right here, and in my opinion you have to play this in Agents. Next up, we also run 1 copy of Elder Entity Ntis. Of course, where there's a Diviner, there's also an Tis, because this one has the effect that it must be special summoned by sending the above cards, so a Synchro and an Xyz monster you control to the graveyard, and once per turn you can special summon a level 4 monster from your hand. You can actually bring it out this way in this deck, but you won't do it. You will send it with Diviner, and if it is sent to the graveyard, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. So in some situations, this is just very helpful. So yeah, one of this is definitely a must-have in the extra deck, if you ask me. Next up, we talk about the Synchro monsters, and the first one we talk about is Cupid Pitch. Probably your most important Synchro monster, because it is just the first step of your combo. Because this card has the effect that if it is Synchro summoned, you increase or decrease this card's level by the level of the tuner used as material. And also this card gains attack equal to its level times 400. But most importantly, if this Synchro Summon card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro Material, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the new Synchro Summon monster's level times 100, and if you do, you can add a level 8 or lower monster with 600 defense from your deck to your hand, which means you can search Nemesis Corridor, and that's how you go into Colossus super consistently. Just an amazing card right here. You have to play this one. The second level 4 Synchro monster we run in this deck is obviously 1 copy of Herald of the Arclight. Now in some decks you want to send it with Diviner for the search to some ritual things. We don't want to do that. We want to use its actual effect and summon it the right way, because any monster sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead, which is already a huge floodgate. Then, of course, if a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can tribute this card to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So it's also an Omni Negate on the field. Amazing card, you can bring it out so easy in this deck, so you just have to play this right here. Then we also run 1 copy of the Executor of Underworld, Pluto. The poor planet that got its planet status taken away. I think it got its... Is Pluto not a planet again? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. I think Pluto is a planet again. But yeah, nonetheless, this level 5 monster has the effect that once per turn you can banish a monster from your graveyard to target an effect monster on the field and change it to face down defense position. And this is a quick effect if the Sanctuary on the Sky is on the field or in either graveyard. You can also banish it from your graveyard to add a Sanctuary in the Sky from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Now this is of course with Sanctuary a powerful effect. Just book as a quick effect during your opponent's turn is amazing. You don't really need it that much, but having the option to go into this one is just amazing. And since most of our levels will be even numbers, you just have those level 3 tuners. So yeah, having Pluto is not a bad idea right here. Next up, we run 1 copy of Visa's Amritara. This card needs a tuner or one or more tuners and a light monster, and has the effect that if this card is synchro summoned, you can add a spell or trap that mentions Visa Starfrost from your deck to your hand. So this searches your Omni Negate, and it's just a step. You go into Cupid Pitch, the level is raised by 2, so you have a level 6. You use Cupid Pitch and one of your Shine Balls to go into Visas. Visas searches your Omni Negate, and then with the leftover Shine Ball, you can go into our next synchro monster, which is the boss monster of the archetype, and it's called Master Flare Hyperion. Amazing monster right here, with the effect that you can send an agent monster or one monster that mentions Sanctuary in the Sky from your hand, deck or extra deck to the graveyard, and until the end phase this card's name becomes that monster's original name, and you replace this effect with that monster's original effects. Now this is just amazing to send your Agent of Destruction, for example, to bring out more Shine Balls. But its own effect is also pretty neat, because when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can banish a fairy monster from your hand or graveyard and target a card on the field and banish it. So yeah, just an amazing one right here, but one is of course enough. But we want to have another level 10 synchro, and of course we choose Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying. Just an amazing card, especially if you think about how much we banish, because this card has the effect that for each banished card, this card gains 100 attack and defense, and monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense. And if this card would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish a card from your graveyard instead. And if a card is banished, you can banish one card each, both from your opponent's field and graveyard. So yeah, you banish so much in this deck that Cheng Ying is just a monster on the field. You have to play this one. And our last monster is once again one with an uneven level, and it's Psychic End Punisher. Also just an amazing card in this deck. Level 11, and it has the effect that while your life points are less than or equal to your opponent's, this synchro summon card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects, and once per turn you can pay a 1000 life points to target a monster you control and one card your opponent controls and banish them, and at the start of the battle phase you can make this card gain attack equal to the difference in your life points and your opponent's. And since we pay, when our combo goes off, 3000 life points for our Shine Balls, you always have less life points than your opponent, so this card is just super powerful in this deck. Then next up we also run a small sprite engine, and it starts with Gigantic Sprite right here. This card is just amazing, needs 2 level 2 monsters, and you can of course also treat Link 2 monsters as level 2 monsters for the Xyz summon of this card. And the original tag of this card that has a fusion, synchro, Xyz or Link monster as material is doubled, and during your main phase you can activate this effect, detach a material from a monster you control, and if you do, special summon a level 2 monster from your deck, and neither player can special summon for the rest of this turn except level, rank or Link 2 monsters. Now this is just great at the end of your combo to bring out a Diviner, to then dump Eva and search your hand traps. Amazing run right here. Then of course it's also a Thunder monster, so if it's sent to the graveyard you have another card to protect your Colossus. Amazing one right here. You have to run this little sprite engine, and it's not done with Gigantic Sprite. We also run one copy of Sprite Sprint. Amazing card in this deck. And also important combo piece, needs 2 monsters including a level, rank or Link 2 monster. Can't be used as Link material the turn it is Link summoned. Doesn't bother us, we want to use it for Gigantic Sprite anyway. And you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is Link summoned, you can send a level 2 monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if another monster is special summoned while this card is on the field, you can detach a material from an Xyz monster you control to target a monster on the field and return it to the hand. Now of course we want the Foolish effect, and what are we going to Foolish? Of course our Ringo Worm, and with Ringo Worm in the grave we have the option to bring out our free tuner token, so just crazy good combo piece right here. But of course we also run the one and only Agent Link monster, which is Protector of the Agent's Moon. Also amazing design, and it has the effect that it needs 2 fairy monsters, and if it is Link summoned you can send a Sanctuary in the Sky or a card that mentions it from your deck to the graveyard, or if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in either graveyard, you can add the Agent of Mystery Earth from your deck or graveyard to your hand instead. Also, you can tribute a fairy monster to target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. Now, of course, we want the unsummon Foolish for our Majesty Hyperion because it can bring itself back from the graveyard, so also just a great extender right here. Of course, the destruction effect is neat, but the Foolish is the one we want, so we don't need more than one. Then, next up, we also run one Herald of Marriage Lights. Also, just an amazing card to play in this deck. needs 2 monsters with the same type and attribute except tokens, and when a spell, trap card, or effect is activated, quick effect, you can send a fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Also, if this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can add up to 2 ritual monsters or ritual spells from your graveyard to your hand. Doesn't bother us, it's just a spell negate on field, which is just amazing to bring out on your end board. Then of course, pretty generic, we also run 1 SP Little Knight, can't have enough of that one. And we round things up with 1 Celestial Night Lord Parshath. Amazing card. Right here, this link 3 monsters needs 2 or more fairy monsters and has the effect that you can discard a card to add a Sanctuary in the Sky or card that specifically lists this card in its text from your deck to your hand, or if the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you can add a fairy monster instead. So just a generic fairy searcher with Sanctuary in the Sky on the field is just nuts. It can also search your Sacred Water, so yeah, crazy good card. And also, if another face-up fairy monster you control is sent to the graveyard, you can banish a fairy monster from your graveyard to special summon a fairy monster from your hand whose level is higher than that banished monster. So this is also just an amazing card. It's not part of your basic combo, but in the grind game, this card can come up, and when it comes, it's always amazing. And guys, that's it for the extra deck. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, definitely leave a like and the subscriptions really help us a lot. We want to reach 1K subscriptions until the end of this year, so your help is heavily appreciated, of course. Then, of course, if you have any suggestions or something like that, definitely write a comment. We always love to read and answer your comments, of course. Then, if you want to see how this deck really performs, definitely check out our combo video with the link in the description so you can see what crazy combos you can actually pull off with this deck, even in 2025. And yeah, guys, until next time, have a good one.